My name is Sharon Anderson. I work with Cooperative Extension of Tompkins County. And we're delighted to have a great cast of speakers tonight to cover issues around gas pipelines. I'm looking forward to learning a lot. I don't know too much about it yet, but I'll know a lot more by the end. I'm going to go over the agenda, give you a little background information, and then we'll have a first presenter. So our presenters will be Jim Austin, who's with the department, oops, I left a word out, with the Public Service Commission for New York State. Deborah Goldberg, who's with Earth Justice, and Megan Throw, who's with the Southern Tier Central Regional Planning and Development Board. I would like to also thank the Tompkins County Council of Governments, also known as TCOG, who's a co-sponsor of this program along with Cooperative Extension. Ellen Harrison, who among other things is the founder of Fleeced, has been helpful with organizing. Karen Edelstein produced the GIS maps that you'll be seeing in a moment, and Chris McConkey, who's our videographer tonight. So we did have a number of people who called in both locally and from around the area interested in tonight's program, and we're delighted that it's going to be videotaped so we can have it available on the web in a few weeks. So I'll just start by a few terms. So there are three main classifications of pipelines, and again, within them there are some finer designations, but in a broad brush way, there are gathering lines, transmission lines, and distribution lines. And gathering lines are the lines that collect the natural gas from the actual production facilities, from the well pads, and transport them to the larger transmission lines. You may see flow lines and other designations that are finer underneath that, but as a general category, those are the local ones. And typically, they're about under 10 inches in diameter and in the 250 to 715 pounds per square inch. The next category is the transmission lines, and those are the ones that carry the gas long distance. And the transmission lines can be either interstate, so just within a particular state, or they can cross state lines. And they tend to be a little bit larger in the range of 6 inches to 48. And again, the pressure is a little bit higher as well. So all of that is carrying gas which does not have that odor added to it yet. So for any of you that use natural gas, in case there's a gas leak, there's a smell to it. The next category are the distribution lines. And by now, the gas has had the additional chemicals added to it, so it does produce the odor. And at this point, those distribution lines are carrying it to the customer. And so you can see, again, the size and the pounds per square inch that's typical. So to orient you, we're going to be looking a little bit at where pipelines are or are proposed. With the gathering lines, that'll be very dependent on where drilling actually takes place and where well pads are put in. But for the transmission lines, we already have a number of them, and this shows the ones that are closest to us. There are also lines which are for hazardous liquids, and that includes things like ethanol and other biofuels, liquefied natural gas, liquefied petroleum gas, and crude oil. So again, those are essentially transmission lines. The Millennium Pipeline might be a pipeline you've heard about. Again, a transmission line runs from Corning across the southern part of our state. It continues across the Catskills and goes through the sort of outskirts of New York City area. There are some proposed, and there's also the Cabot Iroquois Pipeline. In addition, that's not so close to where we are, but closer to the Catskill area. We also have a proposed pipeline which will connect these up, and there's a couple different ones. There's Cabot, which is proposing one, and then there's also Tennessee El Paso, and these are the names of the companies that actually have these. And the Tennessee El Paso has two potential ones, the purple line here or the green line, so for alternatives. So again, there's pipelines that exist already. There's gathering lines that are going to come in based on where and when wells come in. We will be posting the PowerPoint presentation and these slides included on the website as well as the video, and we'll be posting the links. So the Cooperative Extension of Tompkins County website, which is ccetompkins.org, is where you'll be able to find these once they're available. Okay. And I'm going to show you, assuming technology works, part of a video clip that's from a webinar that Pennsylvania State Extension did. And it's just a little introduction to what happens when a pipeline line gets laid down, just so you have that as an image as you're hearing the rest of the presentations.